Hey guys, it's Rochelle. So I figured today I would show you some of my favorite paintings of all time. They're actually just my paintings, but they're my favorites that I've done so far. So stay tuned. I've been doing portrait paintings for the last 5 years now, I think. And over the last about 2 years is when I really started to actually like them. For a long time, I hated everything I did. But now I love them. And I'm going to show you my favorites over the last few years. Starting with, I don't have all of them in my possession right now. Some of them are at galleries, or I just don't own them anymore. But I'll show you what I can. So, this is what I have first. Sorry they're wrapped up, but I store them instead of having them all just out, and having them wrapped up keeps them from getting dusty, and I will not be unwrapping them. Sorry. But I'll insert a picture. Anyway, this is one of my favorites. This one originally is supposed to be a series of 3, but the other 2 turned out really terrible. So this is the only one that exists on the internet and in the minds of other people aside from just me. The other 2, they're still alive and well. They just will not be seeing the light of day, and that's fine. Anywho, this painting is an 18 by 24 inch canvas. It's titled Her Soul, and when I made it, it was kind of, oh my goodness, sorry babes. It was kind of in a time where everyone was kind of making art that was digital and had no face like this to sell to people for like $5. And everyone was eating it up, especially during COVID. And I was like, ugh, what about the rest of us? And like, I was struggling with like, okay, I know what people want, but I know what I want to make. And that's not what I want to make. And no tea, no shade to the people who do that. That's not a problem. But it was like, I want to put my whole heart and soul into a piece, and doing that and selling it for $5 is just not my ministry. So I made this as kind of like a commentary to what was going on at the time, and capitalism and consumerism, and how people always say when you have a business, don't create what you like, create what's going to sell. And I don't want to do that ever. So I painted about it. Anywho, next, I'm also going to try to show these how they look. If they were in a gallery or something, I'm going to try to show you how they looked in that space. So if you want to purchase one, you'll see what it looks like on the wall. All right. This one, oh my gosh, it's stuck. Okay. This one is definitely a favorite of a lot of people who have seen it. People always stop to look at this one, chat about this one, take pictures with this one. So that's been really cool. This is one of my most recognizable pieces. I keep banging it on my desk. That's why I keep them wrapped. Anywho, this one is titled Botanical. It is, I'm not going to hold it anymore, but it's the 4th one in this series that I did. I did one that was sunflowers and roses, one that was a bunch of different flowers. Actually, this was the 3rd one. I did this one, and then I did another one that I'll show you in a second. It's an 18 by 24 canvas. And these were like, this series was the first one where I was like, okay, I'm creating a body of work, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And like, it's actually starting to mean something, the things that I'm making, instead of just painting because like I need something to post, or painting just for practice, you know? So it was one of the first ones where it actually like meant something, not just to me, but to other people who saw it. So that was lovely. Yeah, definitely a favorite. Next is the one that I painted after that. These, I think I painted in 2022. Oh, it says it on the back of it. I did in fact paint them in 2022. This one was from November of that year, but it's so hard to maneuver. This one is also 18 by 24. It's titled Falling, and she has a lot of fall leaves around her. Okay, something just fell. This is also a favorite of the public. I remember I showcased it maybe like a week after I finished it, and someone came up and was like, "This is the most beautiful painting I've ever seen. It's my favorite in this entire exhibition. Like, it's the best one here." And I was like, "That is so nice of you to say. Now I'm going to go to the bathroom and cry, because kindness means a lot to me." But yeah, I love the colors, and fall is my favorite season. And enough said about that, to be completely honest with you. I just love it. Okay, next one. There was a time where I was doing a series of small paintings, very small, very, very small paintings of some of my favorite music artists. And I love how they all turned out. Well, some of them were like, ugh. But I love how they turned out. And this one is my favorite because it was a little bit more challenging than the others. And I hated it at first, and then it grew on me. So this is my little Sabrina Carpenter. This is 4 by 4 inches. I did one of Billie Eilish, and that tends to be the favorite of people, but this one is my personal favorite. At first I was really tripping. I was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't even look like her. And then I was doing this as a live painting for my residency, and someone came to me and was like, oh my gosh, is that Sabrina Carpenter? And I was like, oh, thank God you know who it is. I was tripping, like really thinking that it was horrible and it didn't look like her. But I think this one is the best, like, showcase of my skill doing a portrait. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of depth in her face and her features, and I just love Sabrina Carpenter. I'm still listening to Short and Sweet every day, so okay, the next ones that I want to share are also pretty similar to each other from the same series, starting with this piece. It is an 10 by 10 canvas. I painted this in January of this year. It is titled Keep It In. So there's roses surrounding the portrait, and she has tears coming out of her eyes, but has a smile on her face. So this can be interpreted in a couple of different ways. Either trying to hold your emotions in and forcing a smile on your face, but not really doing a good job of keeping it in because you're visibly crying. Or it could be seen as happy tears. So however the viewer wants to interpret this one, but that's the idea with it. And I was really exploring emotion through the pieces in this series. And I'm working on another one right now, so there will be 4 total. But yeah, I was just really exploring emotion and expressiveness in the eyes. So yeah, this was a really fun one to do. This was outside of my comfort zone because a lot of my pieces do like explore more sad and emotional themes, but they're not usually so openly in your face expressive. So this was really fun to do, challenging with the roses, but I had a good time and I love it. I love the meaning behind it. Next one is an 8. Oh my gosh, why do I keep saying that? The next one is a 12 by 12 canvas. This one I really, really love. I love how the roses turned out, the color and the shading and the depth in them. It's really beautiful to me. Not trying to gas myself up, but I think it's amazing. This one is a little less openly expressive. If you were to see it close up, you would see her eyes are kind of glassy. So it's a more subtle emotional expression, and that's also why I really like this one. I'm doing another piece. I was going to show you, but it's too far. But they'll be kind of facing each other. And I love creating paintings that all fit together. I'll explain why I do that in a later video, but I usually paint small for the most part. So it's nice to be able to give people the option for one if they want to only purchase one, they can do that, and it's also a little bit cheaper that way, it being a smaller piece. Or they can gradually grow their collection and include more. They can buy them all at once, and then it brings a whole new meaning, and they get the entire picture through having all the pieces in a series. So it's nice to give people that option and also see how people would arrange them and the meaning that they would associate with the art. Anywho, there's on my website, I have full explanations of all these paintings. So in the portfolio page of my website, there's a little button that says learn more, and then you can read about all of the paintings. I'm updating it currently because one of them, the one that I just showed you, is not on there yet, but I'm working on it. So yeah, if you want to read even more about these paintings, then that's going to be right there. Sorry, this one is titled Breathe, by the way, and I don't know if I said it, but the last one is called Keep It In. And now, keeping it in with the rose theme, I want to show this one from February of 2024. This one is titled To Have You. It's also a 10 by 10 inch canvas. This one started a whole series that I did. There were 5 paintings total, and this is the only one where the portrait, the woman is actually looking directly at you. The other ones are sort of facing each other or facing away from each other, depending on how you were to place them. But I'll show you a picture of how they all look together. And I think it's really cool. I really love them. This one is one of my favorites because it's a little less sad of a love painting than the other ones that I just showed. But again, you can read all about that one there. But this one is my favorite, one of my favorites, because it really started a whole new series for me at a time where I was not really sure what I was painting. I was going through dealing with an injury type thing, so I couldn't really paint big stuff at the time. So now I really mostly paint small. So again, I'll talk about that another time, but this painting really kind of gave me a whole new purpose for the next few pieces that I was making, and I love that. Next, I have this little one. This is also a 10 by 10 inch canvas. This one is titled Hideaway. It was actually inspired by a song called All We Do by Oh Wonder, and that is one of my favorite songs of all time. And yeah, it was the inspiration behind this piece. This one is oil and acrylic on canvas. I don't know if I said that. Most of my paintings are all oil paintings on canvas, but some of them, like this one, some that I'll show you in a little bit, the background is in acrylic, so all the leaves, and I like doing that because it saves a little bit of time of my process. I'm a very impatient painter, so it saves me a lot of time when painting, so I don't have to wait a week and some change for it to dry before I can continue. So yeah, I really love this one. It, having been inspired by one of my favorite songs, makes it by default one of my favorite paintings. So there's that one. Last two, we're almost done. This one is very similar to the last one, just a little bigger. This is an 11 by 14 canvas. It is titled Hazy. This is also inspired by a song. It's called Hazy by Rosie Golan, and this was one of my favorite songs back in 8th grade. It reminds me of the exact time period and what I was feeling at the time that I was listening to the song a lot, and what I was doing in my life. Even though that sounds so stupid, I was in 8th grade, but at the time, whatever you're going through feels like a big thing, and it feels like that is the center of everything. And then you get older and you realize it wasn't, and everything's fine. But that's not the point. I think it's just amazing how music can do that and make you feel all these different things, and I like that visual art is a way of doing that too. So this one really got me out of an art painting mental funk at the time, and instead of painting to post something, I painted for fun. I didn't record any part of it, and I had the best time. So I got to do this again because I'm going through a little funk again right now. So that's life. I'm okay, I swear. Last one is this piece here. This one It kind of faces the one hazy that I just showed. Hold on. So I like that they kind of face each other. And yeah, these are all some of my favorites because I love how the leaves really give it a new depth versus just having a flat background like some of the other ones do. Although the meaning of those other paintings, it makes sense, but I love how this adds some interest and some depth to the piece, and their eyes are so really expressive. And yeah, I just really love these ones, and they're really vibrant also, even though they're just green. So I had a lot of fun making these. Thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun yapping about my favorite paintings, and if you connect with any of them, these ones that I showed are all available on my website right now. So you can take a look, and hopefully you find yourself collecting an original painting. And if you want to read any more about them, the portfolio is also available through that link, and you'll be able to read about whichever one you want, or all of them if you have the time. So yeah, bye.